Welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast with your beautiful host, Amy, and your less attractive host, Nick. We're excited to have you today at the podcast. And do we need to start out with a disclaimer of any type, or are we pretty much good on there? Do people.
I don't know
We
anymore.
had another great review, a one-star review saying, "Oh my heck, they argued the first 7 minutes of the podcast."
We argue what?
I know, I'm
What
like,
married couples argue?
but
Wait,
uh,
what?
but I don't know which podcast episode.
We try
Again,
not to.
we have different. I have probably a little more dry sense of humor, like so sometimes people might think that I'm coming across a certain way. That's why we do videos now, is so that you can see us laughing and joking and teasing each other. So
I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So disclaimer, our disclaimer again, we haven't done one for a while. If you get easily offended or don't know what a sense of humor is, this podcast is probably not for you.
Nope.
If
Keep going.
what are the other disclaimers we have?
We're not therapists.
We're
We don't
not, oh
want to
yeah,
be.
we're not
We
therapists. We don't want to
chose
be.
not to be. We chose not to
If you're
be.
looking for therapists or advice from a therapist, this episode is not for you. That'll be the Friday episode when we have a therapist on.
Yeah. The last few Fridays we've had a therapist on there.
Yeah.
And if you need a good therapist, just kindly email us. We'll let you know some really great ones. So just that easy.
Right. If you're oh yeah, if you're what's the other disclaimers we already do? I'm sorry, we haven't done a disclaimer in a while.
I don't think we're good. We're good. I think by now,
Moving on.
if you're new, we're just an average couple. We've been married almost 24 years. We have 4 kids and
Three dogs.
one is moved out, one is almost moving out. We're kind of in that midlife crisis stage where everything's changing. It's sad, but it's also great. We share things that we've done that has helped our marriage thrive. And after 24 years, if you're still intimate a few times a week, I feel like you're thriving. It doesn't mean it's perfect. I just feel like you're thriving.
We've
And
been through
that's
a
our goal,
lot.
is to help you thrive no matter what you've been through. And if you have serious trauma, this podcast isn't for you. If you have a decent relationship and want to make it better, this is probably the podcast for you. I have a lower drive. People get mad at me and they're like, you can fix that. I know that. That costs thousands of dollars and sometimes drugs and stuff. I get that. There's other ways you can do that, working on it. Nick's the higher drive. So when we say in our podcast, he's the higher drive, I'm the lower drive, doesn't mean you have to be like that. We get that that goes other ways.
Well,
And we're very cautious about that. We hear from a lot of higher drive wives, and we understand this can look different in your marriage.
and what we do have is an audience of around 1 million people, right? So Amy and I get a ton of feedback, and we hear from
Oh, we get
so
feedback.
many of you through the podcasts, the videos that we do, just people reaching out that use the app. Like we constantly hear from couples, and what we're finding is that most marriages do have a high drive spouse and a low desire spouse.
Right.
And that's okay. You can still have a great marriage and make things work. And we try to share some of the things not only with intimacy, but so many other aspects of marriage because let's face it, like if the other aspects are off, you're not going to have great intimacy as well, too.
And we
So,
always talk about sexual intimacy being important in the marriage, but the emotional intimacy, the way you treat each other, the kindness, the respect, that comes first. And so if you have an issue with that, this podcast isn't probably for you.
yeah.
That's our disclaimer today, okay? Because we do get a lot of feedback. Okay, yeah.
Well,
And
okay.
a lot of it's very good. A lot of it's very
Yeah,
good.
we get a lot of good feedback, but sometimes we'll get feedback on a podcast and we're like, what podcast are they listening to?
Agreed.
Like, I
Agreed.
don't even know
We never
anyways.
said anything like that. Wrong podcast. Anyways, okay, so we try our hardest, and if there's something you want us to talk about or something that you're like, I loved that or I hated that, whatever, just we're really nice people. Just email us. Like we'll reply back to you. We run our own business. We answer all the emails personally. We answer social media messages personally. Like we run the business. And we love your feedback. And when you have questions or
Good or
concerns or
bad,
whatever, we can take it. We can take it. Just be nice. I don't understand. I don't understand mean people in the world. That's just something I don't understand. I don't understand if the product opens up in shipping, why you need to yell at us. Like I don't understand that. Like we work with people. We want to help you in every way. Just
That's right.
be nice. Just be nice. Okay. Today we're talking about 6 areas that we think that you should, and that we're trying to build passion in your marriage. I'm not just talking about sexual passion, even though that's one of them. There's like 6 different areas that we want to talk about that should feel passionate in your marriage, and they're all totally 6 different things, and I think they're all super important.
Yeah, agree
So,
100%.
should I just list them really quick? Um, these are the words that are going to talk about the 6 areas of passion: hot, joyful, deep, united, growing, and spiritually anchored. Those are pretty great words. Like hot, I want my marriage to be hot. I want it to be joyful. I want it to be deep and united and growing and spiritually anchored. I loved
All
those
of those are
words
really good.
to create more passion in your marriage in each of those areas. And so we're going to dive into each one of those words represents an area of passion we're going to talk about. And I think they're just super
I
great.
think those are really good. Absolutely.
And then we're also going to give you 3 questions to ask your spouse in each of those areas so that you can get talking about it, improving that area. And there's a couple areas that we probably need to work on. So this podcast isn't saying you got to do all these to have a great marriage. No, these are just things like to work on. Like these are just...
Well, and what's great too is as we identify these things, you're like, oh, we're not spiritually where we want to be at, or we're not hot, right? Or we're not growing, right? What can we do to help things grow? Like each one of those are things that you can kind of look at and say, well, we feel like maybe things are a little bit off in that area, but what can we do to help each one of those areas? Like as you identified those, I'm thinking, yeah, like what can we do to not be stagnant and keep growing in the relationship, right? Or what areas can we make hotter and things like that. So I think those are really good.
So we obviously talk about all 6 of these areas all the time on this podcast, but I wanted to dive more into like what are 3 questions that legitly go with that section so that you can talk about it if that area you're just like, and kind of why this area is so important. Right?
Yeah.
So for each one. So maybe, like no matter how long you've been married, whether your marriage is kind of struggling right now or it's doing amazing, I still feel like it can always grow and it can always get better.
And there is always hope, right? Amy and I were in a very, very dark place, and it was amazing for us at least how quickly things turned around. We've heard from so many other couples as well too, like, oh my heck, we were on the verge of getting divorced, and now I can't imagine being happier. And it really is like oftentimes we put so much pressure on ourselves and think, oh my heck, to change this, it's going like it's too much. Like we're not going to be able to do it. We have to change too much, and that's not usually the case. Usually it's like simple things or little things that you start doing that all of a sudden like snowballs, and you're like, oh my heck, this is like great. Like now what else can we do, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to just dive into the first one, which Nick's going to have lots to say about, which is sexual passion. The physical intimacy and the desire. Do you want to just go for it?
No. It's funny. You're just like, you're going to have a lot to say on that.
Nick has a lot to say on this topic. Anyone listening that knows Nick knows that he has a lot to say on this topic.
I like that topic. Yes, I do.
So this one is about attraction, chemistry, and pursuit. It's not just about sex. It's about attraction, keeping the chemistry, and keeping the pursuit. Like those 3 words, how do you tie that into sexual intimacy in marriage? Sorry, I'm putting Nick on the spot because I prepared this and he hasn't seen anything.
I haven't. I had no prep time. This is like Amy throwing me under the bus.
I'm not
no, that's not true. I'm joking.
I'm just throwing you on the podcast.
What I think of on when you say those things is it's so easy to put forth no effort. Having the things that we want in marriage, every single thing, whatever that is, requires a lot of effort. And I notice like the marriages that really succeed, people are putting forth the effort, whether it's into the emotional intimacy or into the sexual intimacy or into the passion or romance or whatever you want to say. My thought is like how easy it is we kind of pick and choose certain areas of the marriage where we're like, oh, we're not going to put effort into that area, but I'm willing to put in effort into that area. And I don't think it works that way. I think you have to put effort into every area. So sorry, remind me again what you just said.
Attraction.
Okay.
Let's just stop on that one.
Okay, that requires effort.
Attraction.
Yeah.
And a lot of you go to like straight to physical attraction, right? Like staying physically attractive both ways, right? I think of attraction as a woman as so much more than just physical. I think we are attracted to our husband when he's a really good dad. I feel like attraction comes when he's a really good teammate in the marriage. Like, I think for women, it might look a little different than men. I'm not sure. I still think that like physical attraction is like super important in marriage, but I think that maybe we look at attraction
Well,
like when you first think of the word attraction, like
you think physical.
you think physical, but I think there's a lot more to it when
But
you're
we did a
married.
podcast on this very subject. Are you not attracted to your spouse anymore with the therapist, Kevin Johnson? And we talked about that to where it really, if you're not physically attracted to your spouse anymore, it's most likely because of different things going on, which really don't have to do with attractions, like the way your spouse treats you or your spouse bugging you or things like that.
Hmm.
And so I think in many cases, if you're not attracted to your spouse, it's probably not as much as a physical thing, although we can do things
I think
to be
that's important
better.
too. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, that we aren't letting ourselves go. But what things are we doing outside of that that are causing our spouse to not be attracted to us
Hmm.
or,
Hmm.
whatever?
And the other word was pursuit. We talk about this a lot though. Just keep pursuing your spouse. And this completely affects physical intimacy and sexual passion in marriage. Like when you stop like trying to pursue your spouse and just like your relationship gets stagnant, I think that excitement and that spark that leads to that sexual intimacy kind of gets stagnant too. Do
Well,
you
it's very
agree?
attractive when a spouse is pursuing the other one, right? Like
Agreed.
if you're pursuing me or I'm pursuing you, I think that's a very attractive thing. If we
Mhm.
stop doing that, um, it's going to lead to kind of like not being attractive.
Yeah, yeah. I hear from a lot of women that are the higher drive too. And when that pursuit stops, like on the husband's side, like that just like crushes. I mean, that goes either way, but that just like crushes you, right?
Yeah.
Like the one person I come in my life to is not like pursuing me and acting like they even
Well,
desire me at all. And that hurts.
I
That
had an
hurts
email the other
deeply.
day from a lady, and she's like, "I'm not attracted to my husband anymore." And the things that she was listing had nothing to do with physical appearance.
Mm,
She's like, "I
mm,
want to be attracted to him.
hmm.
I want to be intimate with him, but he's doing these things within our marriage that are causing me to not be attracted to him."
And that goes both ways.
Yeah, 100%.
I think sometimes I'm not attractive in this marriage. Sometimes when I'm PMSing and I'm kind of ornery, I'm like, I'm not being attractive to you. Like, and I think a lot of women they're like just kind of shut up, like I put everything first. I know we're talking about sexual passion, but like this kind of leads into the more the emotional. But like women, as women, we can be like keeping ourselves attractive and trying to look good for our husbands, but when our attitude is off, when we're grumpy, when we put everyone first and we don't know how to prioritize, like we just, there's a lot of qualities that we can start
What's
doing that are not attractive too. And your
well,
husband's like, you're really good looking, but you bug the crap out of me. You're not attractive to me today.
it's funny, and I don't mean to get off subject or keep things
Or you
delayed,
might want to
but
get off subject.
we were talking to our son the other day, and of course he's 21, and he's like, "Oh my heck, this girl is so attractive." And we're like, "Yeah, but what about like the rest of the things?" And the point we're trying to make with him is like, you can be so attracted to her now, and we've mentioned this in other podcasts as well. I remember dating a girl and I was like, oh my heck, she's so attractive physically. And when I got to know her, I was like, okay, she is
Yep.
totally unattractive. I don't want anything to do with her. That's
Mhm.
not being mean, but the point I'm trying to make is you have the physical attraction, but you have the whole rest of everything else, right?
But
And
I think in marriage, it's really easy to be like, I'm not attracted to you anymore. You're bugging me, right? Like I feel like we kind of connect those things. And so I think if we were just like, how can I be attractive to my spouse? I think we need to look inward a
yeah,
lot more.
yeah,
That's my point. I think
yeah,
we need to look inward because it's very attractive when you are positive and happy and yeah, kind, respectful. Those things are all like so attractive, right?
100%. Yeah.
Anyways, sexual passion is super important. And so these are three questions to ask each other. If you feel like the sexual passion is kind of stagnant, I guess is the word I would use, because nobody wants stagnant, right? We want like exciting. So number one would be, when do you feel most desired by me? What am I doing in those moments? Two, what is one thing that increases your confidence in physical intimacy with me? And three, is there something you wish I did more of to help you feel pursued or wanted in our marriage?
Those are great
Those are
questions.
just really great questions to ask. And hopefully, if you're struggling in any of these areas, maybe you can just listen to this together even if it's just to get the questions and be like, hey, let's talk about this tonight.
Yeah, those are
Because I
great
really want to
questions.
step up, maybe we'll name this podcast episode. We don't want it to be stagnant. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what's a good analogy for like stagnant? I think of like a pond that's just stagnant and gross, or just like you could have this beautiful pond, but when it's not getting filtered, or you know what I mean, it just turns stagnant and
There's
nasty.
nothing coming in and nothing going out. It's
Yeah, it
just,
just
yeah.
stays the same. And I don't want our marriages to feel like that. Like our theme has always been marriage should not be
Hmm.
mediocre. Mediocre, stagnant. Like we just don't want it to be plain, right? Like it can be great. And I think so many, what was I reading the other day? It said divorces aren't always caused by infidelity or something major. Sometimes it's just from a marriage being stagnant.
Yeah.
People get bored of being bored. They want some excitement. They want that romance back. And it just takes two people being like, let's try a little bit harder.
Or
That's all it takes.
let's change it, right?
Let's change it.
Neither of us want this, and that's usually the
Mhm.
case too. And from what we hear from a lot of you is, no one wants to be feeling the way that they're
No,
feeling. I mean,
no.
and it's, with the right tools, you can change it quickly in a lot of
Yeah,
cases.
it's like a swimming pool. We live in the desert, so a lot of people have pools in their yards. And if you're not putting in the chemicals, if you're not cleaning it, if you're not taking care of it, it goes stagnant really fast with the heat, right?
Oh yeah,
So
that's a
it's
great analogy.
like just you got to be throwing in those little things that keep your marriage sparky and
That is
fun,
a
right?
great
That
analogy,
wasn't
Kate.
that
That
great.
was
Sorry.
really good.
Sorry, that wasn't that great. Desire rarely thrives when pursuit stops. I really love that quote. Don't know who said it. Desire rarely thrives when pursuit stops. When we stop pursuing each other sexually, desire just kind of goes away. It just does.
Well, and I would,
Like I don't have a high drive, so if Nick just is like, I'm just not gonna bug you, like I'm just gonna like the other day he's like, I don't want to always be the one initiating it. And I'm like, I know that I'm trying really hard. But if he was just like cut it off, like our marriage would go flat out stagnant because nobody would really be, you know what I
mhm.
mean? So we both have to be like, okay, we got to try hard in this area. This is really hard for me. We have to have these conversations all the time. Okay, ready to move on?
Yeah, I think it's
The
great.
next one is fun and adventure passion. I think this leads to better emotional intimacy. I think this leads to better sexual intimacy. Like when we go
Absolutely
out and
agree.
do something adventurous and fun, we get that dopamine from like nature and each other versus screen time, like that will change your marriage. And that's the problem is everyone's just so glued to their phones that dopamine is coming from a way that's not helping your relationship at all.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I would bet if you ask most marriages, if you were to say, "Hey, how good's your sexual intimacy in your marriage?" And if they're a marriage where the sexual intimacy isn't good, if you were to ask the next question, "What are you doing fun in your marriage?" I would
Mm-hmm.
bet most of them would say, "Yeah, we don't do anything fun. We don't go on date nights. We
Yep.
don't do these things." On the flip side, I would say that correlates with people that, are out doing fun things together as a couple or a family or, hiking and whatever
Mm-hmm.
those things are, I'll bet you the majority of the time they have a good sexual and intimate life. Like
Yep.
those things correlate with having fun and keeping things exciting in the marriage.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And sometimes when you're in a low place in your marriage, that's the last thing you want to do. Like, let's go hiking together. Let's go do something fun. You're like, no, no, thanks. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But sometimes that's what it really takes is being like, okay, you know what? We're both in this zone, boredom, roommate, stagnant, whatever you want to call it. We have got to jumpstart this. Like a dead car with a dead battery, like sitting there is not going to fix it. You have to jumpstart it, right? Like lighting a flame.
Well, like we
I'm
always
just full
talk
of
about,
analogies.
the first thing we ask couples that message us is, are you going on date nights? And
No.
99% of the time, it's like, no, we're not. Well,
Mhm.
that's why you fell in love with
Yeah.
dating, having
Hmm.
fun, doing those things to keep your relationship exciting.
Right. So, quote, marriage should feel like friendship and romance combined. This is where laughter, spontaneity, and shared joy live. I feel like we've talked about before, like hiring the bar in marriages,
Hmm.
but this takes the one word you said at the beginning, effort. It takes effort to have a joyous and a fun marriage. So, if you're struggling in this area, here's three questions to ask. One, when was the last time we truly had fun together? Like, be honest with, like, when was the last time you truly had fun together? Can you name something?
Last night.
Stop. Okay,
Well,
now
no
asking
one,
me.
no one knows what we did last
That's
night.
true.
I
Well,
mean,
that's true.
last night I had a lot of fun.
That's true.
Did you have a lot of fun last
So
night?
much fun. What made it special? Don't answer that. But I want
Okay.
them to ask their spouse that. Number two, what is one new experience? Can't even read it now. What is one new experience you want us to try together this year, or that we want to try together this year? So you can ask your spouse, what is something you want to try together, or what is something we want to do together? Okay, so, or this month or this week.
Yeah.
Number three is how can we bring more playfulness into daily life instead of only saving fun for vacations, which the average person might not get to go on vacations, or maybe it's once a year. You can't just have fun once a year and think you're going to have this great marriage. And you don't have to spend a bunch of money to go have fun together. You can literally
No,
just get outside and do something fun.
having fun could be playing a game. It could be having sense of humor and teasing
Mhm.
each other. And I mean, I try to do that all the time, like just fun, like sending
Nick,
fun texts to each
Nick's
other
more
and
funny.
flirting. And, my point is again, that requires some effort, but
It requires effort. Okay. Couples who laugh together usually stay together and they're happier. So
yeah.
good. Ending on that one. Number three is emotional passion, deep heart connection. You know, we talk about this all the time, all the time. But this is about safety, vulnerability, being emotionally chosen by your spouse over their phone. I just had to add
Yeah,
that in
you gotta
because
say that again.
phones are destroying
Yeah.
marriages, right? So emotional passion is what helps couples survive hard seasons. And I totally agree with that. That starts with pursuing each other, going on date nights, having fun together. Like the things that we just listed
Well,
in the fun and activities kind of go along with
and
this.
sometimes just having very deep, important conversations that maybe aren't fun, but need to
Yeah,
happen.
need to happen.
I mean,
So this,
I feel a lot more connected and closer when you and I have like really good conversations, and sometimes they aren't like the conversations that you're like, oh, I want to have that
mhm,
conversation. But like after you talk about things in a deep level and
mhm,
be vulnerable and stuff like that, totally connects you.
absolutely. Um, I forgot to say like something on the last one, but we have something to look forward to on Friday night. We're going to this really funny comedy show dinner with like a double date with our friends that are the funniest people we've ever met. And I guarantee Friday night we're gonna like laugh so hard we cry.
Yeah.
Like when was the last time you did that, right? And that gives us something to look forward to in a few days. And it keeps our marriage fun and exciting. And it's
Yeah.
going to build emotional connection because we're going on a date, we're getting out, we're doing something fun together, and then we're gonna have tons to talk about
Oh
after.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like you and I are probably gonna be talking about it for days. Like,
Laughing for days, I'm not sure. But I just think that emotional intimacy and emotional safety go hand in hand with like getting out, dating each
yeah,
other, pursuing each other, putting your phone down and connecting deep conversations and being like, I see you, I choose you over all the distractions of the world. And there's a lot.
yeah, there is. There's
There's
a
a lot.
ton.
And
Let's,
you can't have strong, passionate sexual intimacy in your marriage if you don't have that emotional safety where you and emotional safety isn't just like I feel like I need to feel physically safe with you. Because I think most marriages are like, yeah, we're good there. I hope. I hope. And if
yeah,
you're not, please reach out and we have good people to work with you. But emotional safety for a lot of women is just literally feeling prioritized and listened to and connected,
yeah,
you know, different levels of that. So emotional safety is more important than emotional intensity in marriage.
yeah.
Anything else you want to say on
No,
that?
I
I
think
know we
that's
talk about
great.
emotional all the time, but kind of the foundation of everything, right? Okay, the next one, number four, is purpose and vision passion. Okay, so this is about building something meaningful together, really working on that foundation and having a vision in your marriage, you know,
I think,
that you're working together towards something.
yeah, I think that's really important. Part of that is obviously goals, right? Like having certain goals you want to achieve. Maybe it's doing certain things. That could be like planning a vacation or
Mhm.
something special like that. Like having something that you're working towards together.
Maybe that's simple as we just want to have date nights on Fridays, or we're just working to strengthen our family, like whatever
Yeah.
that is, like talk about it. So some questions to ask would be, number one, do you feel like we're building something meaningful together? Two, where do you see us in 5 years and what excites you about that vision? And what area of our future planning needs more attention?
I think those are great questions because if I were to ask, the question where to ask that to each other, where do you envision us in 5 years? If my answer is totally different than yours,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to create connection and intimacy. That's probably going to be do the opposite
Mm-hmm.
if we have different visions for what we want. So I think it's really important to talk with each other about what your vision is, what your short term, like for the year, maybe for the maybe month, a year, 5 years, or future, different things like that. I think that's really
And I
important.
think visions change too. So I
I
think
do
that, like
too.
you said, I
Yeah.
think it's like a constant conversation to have, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because different things happen in your life and
Yeah.
experiences and people that you meet.
Mhm.
And
Number five is growth passion. I feel like this one kind of goes hand in hand with the last one, but becoming better together. So healthy marriages don't stay stagnant. I can't say that. Happy marriages don't stay stagnant. They don't stay stagnant. They're always like trying to keep it passionate, I feel like.
well, I think it's just like a plant, right? It's either growing and getting bigger and more beautiful and stronger, or it's going
Hmm.
to wither away and die.
Yeah, it goes one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're never just going to be just.
Hmm.
I think for us to think that marriage we kind of just stay the same, I don't think that really happens. I think over time you're either getting better or you're getting worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of agree with that. Sometimes I do feel like months go by and you're like, no, nothing really changed. And I
I
don't think that's always a bad thing as long as it's not getting worse. But I do feel like when you're in an area where it's like, okay, it's just kind of, we're just coasting right now. This is just a really hard stage. Like,
but
that's
don't
a
you
good time to have
think?
a conversation and be like, okay, how do we up this?
Well, I think you can get in that period, but there's going to come a point to where, okay, well, where does it go? Like, yeah, I think there can be short periods of time where things are stagnant, but eventually it's going to go a direction. You're going to have
Yeah.
to choose which way it's going.
And stages change. Like your kids grow older, you start new things in life, new hobbies have to start. And so I feel like it's important to
Yeah.
keep discussing that. So, three questions for this area. In what area have you grown the most since we've been together in our marriage? Two, what is one habit or character trait we should both try to improve? And three, how can I support your growth without feeling like pressure? I think that this is talking about being each other's cheerleaders and making sure that you both, not just in the marriage are growing, but individually are growing. Because I feel like at my point, I'm like, well, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm working towards this. Are we are we trying to grow ourselves and is our spouse trying to be supportive of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of couples don't really have that conversation where they can be more supportive. Because sometimes it's tricky.
Yeah, it
Sometimes
is.
it's tricky. We get busy, right? Okay. Last one is spiritual passion and unity with God. This is the foundation that protects the other five passions. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think if you're not like spiritually on the same page, or maybe you don't look at things the same way in that, I mean, you're going to make different decisions, right? Like if let's just say that the spiritual side of things isn't important to me, I'm probably going to make different decisions in life or different decisions than maybe, you would.
Hmm.
And I think that can really cause a divide or cause us to go a different direction. I think being on the same page spiritually is a very important thing in a
And
Christian marriage.
there are a lot of people that are not on the same page, which they have learned. I have friends that have spouses that are not on the same page when it comes to spiritual stuff, but they learned how to maneuver it. It's taken a lot of time. But I think it's easier when you can at least try to understand each
Yeah.
other and have the same goals. So questions to ask is how connected do you feel to God right now? Do you feel like we are spiritually leading our home well together? And number three is what spiritual practice should we do more consistently, or how can we grow closer as a couple, being more united with
Yeah,
God?
those are
So
great questions.
yeah, I just think that when you turn to God, it helps all of these other issues.
Well,
I know it's really hard to do when you're going through like a pride cycle or just hard times, you know.
yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, I can't imagine not having someone to turn to, right? Like I
Right.
know your spouse, but also like to God and saying, hey, what do I need to do in making these decisions? Or, I know for us, like, turning to God when we're at the crossroads, like how do we make our marriage better, and
Right.
getting that help we need as well.
Yeah, I really like this quote. It says, when God's at the center, marriage becomes a covenant centered instead of performance centered. And I really like that. I think deep down inside, when you're like really keeping your promises that you made to each other, and you're not just keeping them, but you're like thinking about those, like, what does commitment really look like in my marriage? How can I be more committed to my
Mhm.
marriage? I don't know. It changes everything because I think sometimes we talk about this a lot, but commitment, it's big, and
Yeah.
sometimes we get lazy with it. You think
Yeah,
a lot
I
of couples
do.
get lazy with it. So, anyways, marriage is never about having problems. It's about never stopping the work of growing, choosing, and pursuing each other. And that's why I loved those 6 words. Hot, joyful, deep, united, growing, and spiritually anchored. Because I feel like if you can tackle the majority of those ones, the rest kind of like come more naturally. That's
Yeah,
how I feel.
yeah, I
But
totally agree. I think that's a good and important episode that we talked about. I mean, and asking those questions, just those questions alone, prompt incredible conversations. I mean, think of all the conversations we've had just from asking a simple question to each other. That those
mhm,
conversations have turned into something big that have
mhm,
made changes within our marriage. So I think
right.
it's always important to be talking and asking questions and finding out, what you can do to improve your relationship. So
So the good news is most of these questions, or a lot of them, are on the app already. They're on the Ultimate Intimacy app. There's some that are under emotional or romance. There's some under, we already have a spiritual section in the app under Ultimate Intimacy app under the conversation starters. We have conversation starters under family, just all these different
yeah,
areas. We already have all these hundreds of them. And so if you're like, well, I don't want to re-listen and go back to those, like go get on the app. You're gonna find most of these questions directly on the app and start some really great conversations. Like pull it out on a road trip, pull it out at night when you're laying in bed. If you're gonna be on your phone, might as well be strengthening your marriage, right?
that's right. What
Pull it
else?
out on date night, only if you're gonna keep talking to each other. I don't promote phones on date nights, but if you're on the app and you're using conversation starters and you're having really good conversations, like that could be a really good tool. So I feel like every one of these aspects, the spiritual, the sexual, the emotional, the fun, all of them all start with a really great conversation.
Oh yeah, like we always talk about, almost anything can be resolved with good communication. And I think that's where so many couples lack. Like if they're
Yeah.
struggling with something in their marriage or their marriage is just stagnant, that communication flow has probably been cut off and they
Yeah.
probably aren't having that really good communication,
Mhm.
asking the questions like what you talked about as well too. So
Yep.
make it a goal this week to really improve your communication, ask these questions to each other and watch your intimacy flourish. So
If you're new to our podcast, you can grab the app, Ultimate Intimacy app at ultimateintimacy.com or in the app stores, look up Ultimate Intimacy app. We have our new monthly subscription, youandapp.com. We have our shop, that's shop.ultimateintimacy.com if you want some more like, you don't want to be on your phone, but you want like physical versions, card decks, coupon books, games. The intimate game is on there. We have some amazing intimate tools or intimate aids,
yeah.
some fun gifts,
Got a
anniversary gifts, I love you gifts, wedding gifts, just because gifts. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think finally too, like if you have a spouse that maybe doesn't enjoy sexual intimacy, we got some great products as
Mhm.
well that can really help in that area that have been a game changer for so many couples. So
Yep.
check out what we have at shop.ultimateintimacy.com. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We're happy to help. And as always, we really appreciate you listening to the podcast. And until next time, we hope all of you find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.